There comes a point when you have to stop blaming the world and start looking in the mirror. Because the truth is, no one is coming to write your story for you. No one is going to pull you out of bed in the morning. No one is going to take your hand and lead you to success. And no one is going to do the push-ups for you. You hold the pen, and every day, whether you realize it or not, you're writing something. The question is, are you writing the story you want? Most people are stuck waiting for the right time, the right opportunity, the right mood, or the right motivation. But success doesn't wait. Opportunity doesn't knock for those who are asleep. The pen is already in your hand. And if you're not writing your dream, chances are you're helping someone else write theirs. A person once said, "I'll start when things calm down." Let me tell you something. Things never calm down. Life is a constant storm of responsibility, chaos, and noise. If you're waiting for quiet, you'll wait forever. Instead, you have to learn to move while the wind is blowing. To make decisions in the middle of the storm, because life doesn't stop so you can think about what to do. It keeps moving. And if you're not writing, the page will still fill itself with distractions, with habits, with other people's expectations. That's how people lose themselves. They hand the pen over to the world, but you have a choice. You can take it back. You can write a new chapter. One decision, that's all it takes. One moment where you say, enough. I'm tired of this script. I'm ready for a rewrite. Because nobody is going to care about your life more than you do. And if you don't care, why should anyone else? Responsibility is the beginning of transformation. When you accept that your life is in your hands, everything changes. Your relationships, your health, your finances, your mindset. These are not random outcomes. They are results of decisions repeated daily. And the author of those decisions is you. Always has been, always will be. There are people who will try to convince you that you're a victim, that life happens to you, that you're stuck because of where you were born, or what someone did, or what you didn't get. But here's the reality. Your future doesn't care about your excuses. It only responds to your actions. You can let your past define your script, or you can let it inform your growth. But the pen stays with you. Some say, I wasn't given the tools. Then go build them, learn, adapt, get stronger. The greatest stories ever told didn't come from perfect beginnings. They came from hard choices, from people who were tired of letting life happen without their permission. They picked up the pen and started writing something different, not because they felt like it, but because they had to. Their survival, their dreams, their dignity depended on it. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start. You don't need a grand plan, just a direction. You don't need the applause of others. Just your own approval. The decision to begin creates momentum, and momentum is what separates those who imagine their dream from those who actually build it. And if you think it's too late, let me tell you something. Some of the most powerful chapters are written later in the book. What matters is not where you've been, it's where you're willing to go next. What matters is not the length of your story, it's the strength of your character. And character is forged in private, when no one is watching. It's built when you choose discipline over comfort, when you show up on the days you feel like quitting, when you push through the ordinary to reach something extraordinary. That's how authors of great lives write word by word, choice by choice, day by day. Most people don't fail because they lack talent or opportunity. They fail because they refuse to take control of the pen. They give it to fear, to laziness, to the opinions of others. And years go by, the pages turn, and then they realize they never actually wrote the life they wanted. So, what are you writing today? What will your story say about you? Will it be a story of hesitation or a story of boldness? A story of regret or a story of resolve? Because the story is being written either way, and the ink is wet. Every thought, every action, every decision, you are writing it right now. Time is one of those things we all think we have enough of until we don't. We walk around saying things like, I'll start tomorrow, or next week I'll be ready, or someday I'll get serious. But have you ever noticed that someday never shows up on the calendar? There's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but no someday. That's because someday is the most dangerous word in your vocabulary. It tricks you into thinking you have more time. It convinces you to delay. It whispers to you, not now, later will be better. But later has a way of turning into never. Today is all you've got. Yesterday is done. You can't fix it, change it, or relive it. Tomorrow is only a possibility. It hasn't been promised to you or me. The only window you can climb through is the one that's open right now. That window is called today, and it doesn't stay open forever. Every second you hesitate, it starts to close. Slowly, quietly, without warning, and one day you'll look back and realize it's shut, and you didn't move when you had the chance. Opportunities have a shelf life. Dreams have an expiration date. The longer you delay, the harder it gets. Not because the opportunity disappeared, but because you lost the muscle to take it. Action is like a muscle. It grows stronger the more you use it. But the longer you wait, the weaker it becomes. That's why today is so valuable. It's not just another day. It's a chance to strengthen your resolve, to sharpen your discipline, to step forward with courage. So what do most people do with this window called today? They waste it. Not because they don't want more in life, but because they think they have more time to get serious. They sleep through mornings that could have been productive. They scroll through afternoons that could have been focused. They complain through evenings that could have been grateful. Then they wonder why nothing changes. You don't need to do everything today. You just need to do something that moves the needle. Something that breaks the pattern, something that says, I'm done waiting. Because once you start using your days with intention, everything begins to shift. One focused day leads to another, then another. Then you wake up and realize you're no longer living by accident. You're living by design. There's something powerful that happens when you stop negotiating with time. When you stop treating your life like it's a rehearsal. When you finally understand that the clock is ticking and nobody's going to pause it for you. That's when urgency kicks in, not panic, not stress, but urgency, the kind that wakes you up and says, you've got a window, use it wisely. You don't need the stars to align. You don't need perfect circumstances. You need today, that's all. Because today is where the process begins. The decision you've been avoiding, make it. The habit you've been postponing, start it. The risk you've been afraid to take. Face it, you're not too late. You're not too old. You're not too behind. You're just one decision away from progress. People think success is about big moves. It's not. It's about consistent movement, day after day. And that starts by valuing today. Waking up and seeing it for what it is. Not a routine, not a repeat, but a rare and irreplaceable gift. The question is, will you treat it that way because time doesn't respond to intentions? It only responds to action. The clock doesn't care what you meant to do. It only counts what you actually did. And let me tell you something about time. It has a funny way of slipping through your fingers if you're not paying attention. That idea you had last year, where is it? That goal you set last month, how's it going? That plan you made last week, have you started? If you're honest, you'll probably admit that time got away from you, not because it was too fast, but because you were too slow to act. Discipline isn't about doing everything right. It's about doing the right thing now. Today isn't perfect. That's fine, you're tired. That's fine. Things are hard. That's life. But none of those are reasons to waste the day. Because if you wait for easy, you'll miss the moment. And if you miss enough moments, you'll miss the life you could have had. So look around, ask yourself, what's in front of me today? What can I build? What can I break? What can I start? What can I finish? It doesn't have to be dramatic, just meaningful, just honest, just real, because real progress comes from showing up for your own life. Not someday, not soon, today. Excuses are the clever lies we tell ourselves to avoid doing the work. They sound reasonable, even logical. I'm tired. It's not the right time. I don't have the resources. I wasn't taught this. On the surface, they feel true. They offer a kind of emotional relief. They justify our hesitation. They give us a reason to sit still while pretending we care. But here's the reality. Excuses make no deposits. They don't add to your bank account. They don't improve your health. They don't strengthen your relationships. They don't move your dreams forward. They are comfortable, but they are completely unproductive. When you go to the bank and try to withdraw success, the teller doesn't care about how tough your childhood was, or what someone said about you online, or how busy your schedule has been. You either made the deposits or you didn't. You either put in the effort or you didn't. And that's how life works. Success is not emotional. It's not personal. It's not based on your intentions. It's transactional. You get out what you put in. The quality of your life is in direct proportion to the deposits you've made into it. Day after day, year after year. Excuses are seductive. They offer protection from the pain of failure. They tell you it's okay to quit, that nobody will notice. They whisper that it's someone else's fault, or that you'll try again later. But here's what they don't tell you. While they protect your ego, they quietly destroy your potential. While they shield your pride, they slowly starve your future. You think you're staying safe, but really, you're sinking slowly. Inch by inch, you're slipping further from the life you were capable of living, all because you wouldn't take ownership of your results. Ownership is the key to change. It's the moment you say, this is my life. Good or bad, I'm responsible. Not your boss, not your parents, not your environment. You. That's a powerful moment. It's the moment you take the pen back from your excuses and start writing a new story. It doesn't mean everything will be easy, but it means you'll stop pretending you're powerless. One of the greatest lies we've been sold is that circumstances are destiny. That where you are determines where you'll go. But I've seen people come from broken homes, bankrupt families, disadvantaged backgrounds, and still build something extraordinary. Not because it was easy, but because they refused to let excuses be their default. They made deposits of effort when no one was watching. They invested in learning, in discipline, in mindset, even when they were tired, even when the odds were stacked against them. And over time, those deposits added up. There's a phrase worth remembering. You can't fake consistency. You might be able to fake confidence. You might even fake success for a little while. But you can't fake what happens over time. Time reveals the truth. It shows who did the work and who made excuses. It shows who stayed disciplined and who drifted. And it does so without bias. You'll see it in your body, in your bank account, in your relationships. In your reputation, you'll see it everywhere. So what kind of deposits are you making? Are you investing in growth? Are you doing the work when it's boring, inconvenient, or uncomfortable? Are you showing up for yourself when there's no applause, no recognition, no guaranteed outcome? Because that's where the real difference is made. It's not made in the moments when it's easy. It's made in the moments when it's easier to make an excuse, but you choose action instead. Every excuse you make is a withdrawal from your future. Every day you delay, you're withdrawing time. Every promise you break to yourself, you're withdrawing trust. And over time, those withdrawals lead to bankruptcy, not just financial, but emotional, physical, even spiritual. You find yourself empty, not because life was unfair, but because you never made the deposits required. Now, think about this. What if you made a decision today to stop lying to yourself, to stop giving in to the easy way out? What if you told yourself the truth, even if it stings, that you haven't been consistent, that you've been letting yourself off the hook, that you've let fear and doubt and distraction run the show? It's a hard truth, but it's also the beginning of freedom. Because once you admit it, you can do something about it. Action is the antidote to excuses. Small steps repeated daily will crush the most elaborate excuse. You don't have to be brilliant. You just have to be committed. You don't need the perfect plan. You just need to start moving. The moment you replace excuses with action, you shift from feeling stuck to gaining momentum, and that momentum over time becomes your advantage. Excuses are heavy. They weigh you down, they cloud your mind, they drain your energy, but action is light. It lifts you. It clears your path. It fuels your progress. You just have to be willing to let go of your reasons and start reaching for results. And when you do, when you stack enough days of action, you'll look back and realize something powerful. You didn't need an easier life. You needed fewer excuses. Hype is loud, it's exciting. It gets your blood pumping and your mind racing. It's the feeling you get after watching a powerful video or reading a quote that hits you deep. And while that emotional spark can feel life-changing in the moment, it rarely lasts. That's the truth about hype. It fades. It doesn't stick around when it's cold outside, when you're tired, when it's inconvenient. Motivation is a good starting line, but it's a terrible engine. What carries you across the finish line is habit. Quiet, consistent, unglamorous habit. Everybody wants the results, but very few want the routine. They want the freedom, but not the discipline. They want the transformation, but not the daily commitment. They want the applause, but not the silence it takes to earn it. The people who succeed in anything business, fitness, relationships, growth, they aren't relying on hype to carry them. They've built a system of behavior that works whether they feel like it or not. That's the power of habit. Habit is doing the right thing long after the feeling has passed. It's showing up on the hard days. It's keeping the promise you made to yourself when it was easy to believe, and now it's hard to move. It's not about having more willpower than anyone else. It's about designing your life so that excellence becomes automatic. You don't brush your teeth because you're inspired, you do it because it's a habit. You don't get dressed because you feel deeply motivated. You do it because it's part of the rhythm of your day. The same logic can be applied to your goals. If success feels like a constant emotional battle, chances are you're relying on motivation, not discipline. Motivation needs to be refilled daily, But discipline builds its own momentum. It doesn't ask how you feel. It doesn't care what time it is. It doesn't depend on your mood. It just shows up day after day, and eventually so do the results. You may not see the benefit today or even next week, but habits compound. Tiny actions done daily grow into unstoppable outcomes. But here's the problem. Most people fall in love with the idea of change more than the process of it. They love the vision board. They love the plan. They love writing goals and dreaming big. But when it's time to actually execute, to wake up early, to turn off distractions, to train the mind and body, they fold. Because hype is easy, it's fun, but habit, that's hard, it's boring, it's quiet. No one claps for you when you wake up at 5 a.m. No one sees you choosing broccoli over junk food. No one celebrates when you say no to distractions and yes to the grind. But those are the moments that build something real. You have to learn to fall in love with the process, with the repetition, with the daily grind. That's where your strength is forged. That's where character is built. You don't become extraordinary by doing something amazing once. You become extraordinary by doing something average with extraordinary consistency. And that's what habit really is, deciding once and repeating forever. Look around at the people who are ahead of you. The ones who seem to have it together. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's not talent. It's consistency. It's systems. It's a willingness to do what others won't. They've mastered the art of boring success. Because while the world is chasing the next motivational high, they're quietly doing the work. And while the world is applauding temporary wins, they're stacking permanent habits. There's nothing wrong with hype. It can get you started, but it won't keep you going. Eventually, the emotional high wears off. The lights go out, the crowd stops cheering, and you're left with one simple question: what do I do now? The answer is simple. You fall back on your habits, and if you haven't built them, you'll quit. Not because you're weak, but because you didn't prepare for the silence. Preparation is everything. Building the habit now prepares you for the day when motivation is gone. Because that day will come, life will test you, your mood will shift, your environment will challenge you. And on that day, you will either fall or rise, not based on how you feel, but based on the structure you've built. And that structure is built with bricks called habits, one brick at a time, every day, without excuse, without delay, without applause. Your future is hiding inside your routine. It's waiting in the habits you build today. You can hype yourself up all you want, but if your actions don't align, it's just noise. Noise doesn't build legacy. Discipline does, systems do, habits do, not the stuff that feels good, but the stuff that works, the boring stuff, the hard stuff, the stuff you don't post about, but you do anyway, because you know that's where the win is. When you wake up in the morning, you're not just a participant in your life. You're the chief decision maker. You set the tone, you approve the plans, you decide what gets attention and what gets ignored. You are, whether you admit it or not, the CEO of your life. And the results you see, good or bad, are simply a reflection of your leadership. Some people don't like to hear that because it puts responsibility back where it belongs. But that's the truth. You are in charge, and your life is your business. Every day, you are running operations. You manage your time like a budget. You allocate resources like a strategist. You handle meetings, emotions, conversations, opportunities. But the question is, are you running your life like a successful business? Or are you just showing up without a plan? Because no business thrives on autopilot. No successful company leaves its future to chance. If a business ignored its finances, its team, its growth plan, it would collapse. So why do we think we can treat our lives casually and expect extraordinary results? The CEO mindset starts with one word: ownership. That means no more blaming, no more waiting, no more outsourcing responsibility to luck, fate, or other people. If the business is failing, the CEO doesn't blame the employees. He fixes the strategy. If the life isn't working, it's time to fix the system. You might say, but I've had a rough past. I wasn't given the right tools. That may be true, but every great CEO starts with a challenge. They inherit a mess, a broken foundation, a set of problems. What makes them great isn't what they started with, it's what they built anyway. You can build something better, but you have to stop thinking like a passenger. Passengers wait for instructions. CEO, create direction. You've got to stop asking for permission and start making decisions. Start by looking at how you spend your time, because time is your number one asset. Would a smart CEO spend hours every day scrolling aimlessly, watching garbage content, wasting time in circles of complaint and gossip? Of course not. They'd protect their time like gold. They'd invest it into learning, into growth, into people and plans that move things forward. Now look at your habits. Are they helping the company grow or dragging it down? Are you investing in health, discipline, focus, or are you letting distractions steal the day? You've got to audit yourself like a business. Look at what's working and what's not. Look at your patterns. Where do you fall short again and again? What routines lead you to regret? What choices keep producing the same painful results? Great CEO don't ignore patterns. They change them, and then there's your vision. Every powerful company has a clear vision. Something bigger than profits. A direction that guides everything they do. So what's your vision for your life? What are you building? Where are you headed? If you don't have a target, your decisions will be random. One day you'll feel motivated. The next you'll feel lost. And soon years pass and nothing really changes. Vision keeps you aligned. It gives your habits meaning. It gives your struggles purpose. Being the CEO of your life also means managing people. Who do you allow into your environment? Who do you listen to? Who do you model? Who do you give access to your time, energy, and influence? If someone in your business was constantly draining the team, they'd be fired. If someone was consistently negative, lazy, or dishonest, you'd remove them for the health of the company. So, why do we tolerate that in our personal lives? You need to curate your environment the same way a leader protects their culture. Because culture eats strategy for breakfast. If the people around you pull you down, no amount of planning will save you. Now, let's talk about risk. No business grows without risk. No life expands without it either. Playing it safe might feel secure, but it slowly kills your potential. You've got to learn how to take smart risks. Speak up, take the course, launch the idea. Say no to what's safe and yes to what stretches you. Risk is part of the game. CEO understand that the cost of standing still is often greater than the cost of making a move. Growth never happens in the comfort zone. It happens when you step into uncertainty with courage. And just like a CEO has to stay accountable to the board, you have to stay accountable to yourself. You have to track your progress, review your actions, celebrate what's working and correct what's not. No one's going to chase you down and make you succeed. You're the one who has to wake up early. You're the one who has to make the hard decisions. You're the one who has to say no when distractions try to pull you off track. Leadership isn't about power. It's about discipline, service, vision, and consistency. You lead your life with your choices. Even in chaos, the CEO remains calm. When things fall apart, they don't panic. They re-strategize. That's what you've got to do. Life will throw storms at you. Plans will fall through. People will disappoint you. But you can't resign. You can't check out. You can't go into emotional hiding and hope things fix themselves. You need to regroup, reassess, and re-engage with clarity. That's what strong leadership does. That's what you are capable of. The difference between someone who thrives and someone who survives isn't always in talent or intelligence. It's in who's willing to take full ownership of their outcomes. It's in who's willing to stand up day after day and say, I'm responsible for this. I will steer this ship. I will create a better future, no matter how long it takes. Because once you truly accept that you are the CEO of your life, you stop waiting for change. You start becoming the change. At the end of the day, your life will be shaped not by chance, not by luck, not by what others do or don't do, but by you. You hold the pen. You decide whether today is wasted or invested. You choose whether you'll move forward with excuses or take responsibility. The results you want, the future you dream about, the life you know you're capable of living, they are all waiting on one decision: to act, and to act now. This isn't about pressure, it's about power. The moment you stop waiting and start leading yourself, everything changes. You begin to realize that hype fades, but habits last. That success isn't built on bursts of inspiration, but on steady discipline. That every single day is a window, and your future depends on what you do with it. You are the architect, the builder, the leader, the CEO. And when you start showing up with intention, when you take ownership of your choices, when you make deposits of discipline instead of withdrawals of excuse, you shift the entire direction of your life. It's on you. It always has been. Now is the time to make it happen.